Just want to do a little video on the finished Artefact and how it looks on the mantelpiece, and just kind of review of the whole thing now that it's come together. It looks okay. I'm not very happy with the angle, but the angle still looks good, but I'm not actually happy with it. I think it should be more up straight or something like that. It looks okay. Also the clear piece that's adjoining the base and the actual bulb itself, the clear piece is actually working out very well, because when you're walking back like this, when you come back from a distance like this, you don't even realise it's attached to the base, and it's given the impression that the light bulb is hovering in mid-air, which is what I wanted, because I wanted to have the light bulb look like it was hovering, as if it was hovering over in someone's head or something like that, like just to give the impression. Also I want to show Paddy and Shane the effect that I got when I did the marker with the etching. It turned out well. I'm happy with it. Creativity and innovation turned out better than initiative and passion, but I don't know why I just got to change that, but it kind of makes the writing really stand out, even from a long distance away you can see it. And also the cam is working perfect now, and I'll just go through how that is. So the writing on the inside comes out well enough. I don't need to do marker on that. The cam is working grand now, because it was initially broken. It was broken in maybe it was actually broken in 3 places at the one time. If it was broken one more time, the whole thing would have come apart and it would have been a disaster altogether. But I got super glue and I stuck it back together. And super glue was the job. I tried miter bond, it kept breaking. I tried the plastic weld, it kept breaking again. But when I got the super glue spar there, it really helped it a lot. In the lab, actually, it was catching this. Like when I turn it, it'd come this far, and then I wouldn't be able to move it anymore. So I'd have to give it a bit of a shake. I'd have to actually use 2 hands. That's why I haven't made a video of it really until this point, because I had to use 2 hands to turn it. And when I was trying to do that, Paddy came over and he had a fiddle around with it, and he said that it might be the friction, that I'll need Vaseline on it to free it all up. But when I realised that it was actually the cam being broken when I came home, I realised the cam was actually broken when I came home. I thought that was the problem, so I just did a bit more filing and everything like that. I actually found out what one of the problems was that this piece here, which is only meant to keep this yellow piece pushed onto the front surface, that's the only reason for this yellow piece with the hole here. It was actually running along its own kind of follower there. It was running along its own slot, and it was acting as a follower, which is not what I wanted. I wanted this to act as a follower, this part. So this was acting as a follower, and also this was acting as a follower. So it'd be getting pushed from here, and it'd be following off this one, which is not what I wanted, because I wanted just one line on which the follower had to act. That way that it'd be easier and much less likely for it to catch. But that was one reason it was actually catching. This was creating one point, and the other front one was creating another point on which the follower had to run along, and that wasn't effective at all. So I had to just file back these and make sure they weren't touching off anything, because they're only there to keep it held up. So they only need to be touching off this part here. They only need to be touching off this area. And then that actually worked a bit better. It loosened it up a good bit. But what really helped was when I used Vaseline on it, and it makes it look a bit dirty. It's not really that clean cut, but it's actually worth it, because I completely freed up the joint now, and it's working perfectly. I didn't actually think that it'd work, but Paddy said it, and I said sure, I might as well give it a go. I had nothing to lose. So the Vaseline is actually after freeing it up completely, because it was just friction that was obviously doing it after the cam was fixed, and now it's fixed. It's freed up completely perfectly. And that's just it. That's it coming together, coming out again.